No matter how you look at it, I think it's safe to say that even without me making today's video, everyone can agree on a simple fact once they know this information I'm going to tell you guys, which is that Streamlabs is a garbage company. I know, crazy, right? Streamlabs, the same company that a lot of people have used alerts from for the longest time. They've used them for their Twitch streams, their YouTube streams, all these other streams, and here I am talking bad about them. Well, I want to start off by saying I have used Streamlabs before, but recently I've been using Stream Elements just because its integration with YouTube, and simply put because I kind of like it better once you learn how it works. But just because of my preference, that isn't what this video is going to be about. It's not just going to be me being like, hey guys, Streamlabs sucks because, you know, I don't like them anymore. No, it's about how they've cheated and scammed other companies in the past, including, but not limited to, OBS, Lightstream, Elgato, Combo, and even Artist on the internet. So without further ado, we're going to go through a lot of tweets, tell you guys what OBS and everyone else has been saying about Streamlabs, and just the whole situation overall. So to begin this off, let's show the OBS official tweet on screen right now. So they said that near the launch of Slobs, which is Streamlabs OBS, Streamlabs reached out to us to ask about using the OBS name. OBS kindly asked them to not use OBS in the name, and they did so anyways and followed up by filing a trademark. They've tried to sort this out in private with Streamlabs, but they have been uncooperative at every turn. So it's an interesting situation to see that OBS is basically canceling another company. Like, I use OBS to record videos. I'm recording this video right now with OBS. My webcam's recorded in OBS, my gameplay's recorded in OBS. The only thing that isn't really done in OBS for these videos are screenshots and editing. But yeah, it's super interesting to see that now, like, everyone's coming out to just cancel Streamlabs. Now, using OBS in the name of their, you know, Streamlabs OBS thing would have been fine if, let's say, Streamlabs never asked about using it, but imagine this, right? You ask someone, it's like, hey, can I borrow 50 bucks? And they say, you know what, I would prefer you not to. You know, I don't want you to borrow the money because I'm currently saving up. So you hack into their bank account and steal $100. And then you also change the bank account information over to your name so that they can't get any of their money back. That's basically what's going on here with the OBS situation, summed up in like a real life term. And it's like, you wouldn't want that to happen. You wouldn't want someone who you asked to not take your money, to take your money and then take your entire wallet with it. And now OBS wasn't the company that actually sparked this whole debate of all these, like, you know, brands calling out Streamlabs. No, it was actually Lightstream, where they showed this on screen. Now, the original tweet said, hey, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change it up a bit so it's not obvious you copied. Bet. And they show that the actual Lightstream webpage on the left, which was the original, it's been around for a while, is practically the exact same to the Streamlabs Studio webpage, even to like where the positioning of everything is. And now you might be like, oh, maybe they saw the idea, you know, they found it nice or whatever, but it's even worse because the actual reviews at the bottom of the webpage, the very bottom, which you most likely won't be able to see that easily on the recording, but the actual reviews are word for word taken from Lightstream's website. So it's like they made it so blatant that they copied that they took and just renamed the people who had these reviews, meaning that the people who are reviewing the product aren't even real. It just proved right there that Streamlabs can't be trusted to showcase real reviews at all. Now, the only company that I've seen in the situation that I haven't really felt is like the most like blatant situation of copying is Elgato. Now, granted, they are using the exact same name as Elgato does for their Stream Deck, which I actually record and stop the recording of the videos with my Stream Deck using a recording button. Streamlabs had released something called the Streamlabs Stream Deck. Believe it or not, it's like, wow, just like they did with OBS, made it Streamlabs OBS, they took Elgato Stream Deck and made it Streamlabs Stream Deck. And it's just an interesting situation where it's like, at first, you know, if I didn't have any of this context from the other two companies, I would just been like, it might just be a coincidence, you know, it might not be anything that important. But once you see that they blatantly ripped off Lightstream, they have blatantly neglected OBS's request to not use OBS in the title, it just makes it seem like there's no way this is a coincidence anymore, right? They 100% had to have just copied Elgato there. It's just like a thing where it's like, you know, there's a difference here. You have Elgato's Stream Deck, right? And then you have the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is a completely different product, and while it has a similar name, it's not trying to infringe or be something else that that already exist, like how the Elgato Stream Deck and the Streamlabs Stream Deck basically serve the exact same purposes. So it's very interesting to see that they're just basically stealing all of this stuff. And for our final example, actually the final example of a company is going to be Join Combo, which you can see their image on screen right now. What this is showing is that in the actual background is their Join Combo website, how you can basically use your Twitch clips and all this stuff in order to make TikTok clips automatically. Well, Streamlabs ended up stealing this and making their own product called Cross Clips, which has the exact same purpose of Join Combo, except for the fact that, you know, it's under that Streamlabs branding, and most likely, knowing how Streamlabs have been recently, it's one of their premium features. So overall, it's just very interesting to see how Streamlabs just can't be original. And you know, for someone who, when he was younger, used to use Streamlabs, and I love the UI, I found it super useful, it's just looking at it now, it's like, man, how the stars have fallen, you know, how tides have turned, where all of a sudden, just because of them stealing blatantly one-to-one a layout from Lightstream, 4 other companies are coming out. And now it's not only companies, but content creators, people who have tipped other streamers through Streamlabs, and even artists are coming out. Because one of the things that have been mentioned recently when all this controversy happened is that if you go to tip a streamer through Streamlabs, it will automatically subscribe you to their pro subscription by default, where you get charged $10 every month. And then apparently they don't have an easy way to cancel this, so you have to go through support, be like, hey, I didn't even want to pay for this, can you cancel it? And it's just like, that's a shady thing. Imagine this, right? I know, there's a lot of imagining going on in this video, but it's the only way to really drive a point home here about what Streamlabs is doing. You come up to me and you're like, hey, FireMonkey, I want to join, I want to be a member of your channel, so you join at the $2 tier, you know, you pay $2 a month, you're supporting my content. But all of a sudden, you realize $50 have been taken from your account because every month, by subscribing for $2, you also joined my Patreon for $50 a month automatically through the power of the interwebs and just how our service works. Obviously, that doesn't happen here on this channel, and I don't plan on doing that at all, but that's basically what's going on the Streamlabs side of stuff. But this isn't related to just, you know, companies and how the actual community has been treated by Streamlabs. No, as I mentioned earlier in today's video, this also brings into question actual artists who had their work used without ever being contacted by Streamlabs. So in today's video, we're going to be bringing up one case. However, I'm sure there's many other cases that haven't been brought to light yet, which is a dude named Mort over on Twitter. So on the topic of Streamlabs OBS, the Streamlabs website has actually used one of Mort's animations as a default alert. The animation you can see on screen right now, but this is similar to, you know, how you see stuff like, you know, when you set it up for the first time, the first alert you ever see is the zombie running in place. Well, apparently, you know, this person wasn't aware of it at the time, and when they contacted Streamlabs 4-ish years ago, they were asking Streamlabs to, you know, give them credit, as they didn't ask from, like, Streamlabs never asked Mort to use this image or GIF animation, whatever it was. So what Streamlabs had responded was basically that it was a random GIF they found online, probably by using Google, and that sure, they'll give credit. You know, everything sounds nice until you realize the fact that 4 years later, Streamlabs has never given this person credit, and the GIF is actually still available on their website as far as I'm aware. So it's interesting to see that even when they say, hey, yeah, sure, we'll give you credit, hey, yeah, sure, we won't use OBS in our name, they backtrack on it anyways and do the thing they said they wouldn't do. And I know, you know, at the end of the day, it's a company. Do we really care? Will this really affect me in the long run? No, but it is interesting to point out and mention how these companies that are very popular, you know, are actually doing very shady stuff and stealing stuff blatantly, to the point where, you know, what I would expect to be, you know, a YouTuber or something getting canceled on Twitter, we are having brands cancel brands. What is 2021? I don't even know anymore, okay? Like, I never expected to see a brand getting canceled by multiple brands for something that I could easily see the same thing happening with like a YouTuber, like being like, oh, this YouTuber steals my thumbnails, they steal my YouTube videos, whatever. So it's an interesting situation. I want to know in the comments down below, what do you think about this? How do you feel about Streamlabs basically stealing stuff? And I know one of the questions I've gotten on Twitter when I talked about this was, Well, if you don't use Streamlabs OBS, what do you use to record with? What do you use? Well, for alerts and that type of stuff, I use Stream Elements, and then for recording, I use a normal OBS, which is Open Broadcasting Studio. The reason why is because it's the king, okay? There's no watermarks, it's completely free, and it's open source, so if you want to modify the code yourself, you're more than allowed to. So with that said, if you enjoyed today's video, consider subscribing to support the content I create, and I will catch you champs and champettes next time with another video. Peace out.